Hello, everyone, and welcome to Commerce Bytes, September edition. My name is Saurabh Sasteva, and I'm the founder of AssureX, an engineering agency specializing in Sitecore. We have recently been recognized as a Sitecore Silver Partner, and if you want to know more about our company or the services that we offer, please head to our website at assurex.co. Now, let's get started with the September edition.
We have got Vandana Verma, who is the award-winning security expert and the global board of directors at OWASP. She's going to take us through a journey where she's going to talk about IAM for e-commerce. So without further ado, let me step back and hand it over to Vandana. Vandana?
Sure. Let me share my screen. Please let me know if you're able to see my screen.
Yes, I can. No, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, all right, great. So about IAM in e-commerce and why are we talking about it? Because this is one area which is still, I wouldn't say untapped, but a lot of people are missing out on it. And there are a lot of challenges that we are seeing. We've seen that there are a lot of traditional architecture or traditional IAM solutions that are there. People are using it within the organizations. But now as e-commerce, we have a lot of user base. We need to address the challenges that the users are facing or the consumers are facing. So that becomes even more important for us to manage consumer identity management or CIAM, what we call it as now, consumer identity and access management. And that's what we're going to talk about, that what are the challenges that are there and how should we solve those challenges. But before solving them, understanding that they exist. A bit about me, I'm one of the global board of directors at OWASP. I'm running InfoSec Girls in India, wherein I'm trying to bring more diverse candidates in India. About identity and access management, that's been there for ages. Since we started talking about that we need to have something for applications for people to manage. Now, think about when we were kids, what used to happen? Our parents used to go to a grocery stop, and even now it happens that they go to a grocery store, and they have a like kind of a monthly system wherein they ask them to write it down that okay, I've taken this much amount of grocery. Now write down the money in your book. Now every time I'll come, you write in my book as well, so that we know, okay, this is the money that I've spent and I have to pay you at the end of the month. But that thing has changed. The whole paradigm has shifted to an online system wherein if we want to buy grocery, if we want to do shopping, everything is online. Even we can do cash on delivery, but then it has to be upfront, like you select it and it comes to your house. So whole system has been changed, and that's when enters consumer identity and access management, that we want to solve all the challenges that we had in the past and we deal with the new things. If now we start doing it, let's say I buy something from any of the e-commerce site, Amazon, Flipkart, and I tell them that I'm going to pay you later, or like I'm going to take this much of time to pay you, will they give me the goods? They will not give me the goods. But at the same time, when I am registering for any of these e-commerce site, I will take 10 minutes or 15 minutes to fill the form, registration form. Would I be like, would I want it to be there? Like, would I want to register for that website? I don't want. Now I want everything on my fingertips. I want everything fast. So I want to make sure that when I enter any application, it's super easy for me. I want the experience. So it becomes difficult for an organization to manage the usability and security at the same time. Now, how that happens? If we have too much of security, like verification or authentication or authorization at every step, if you're putting something into your cart, if you're ordering, or once it comes, then there is a pin. So there is multiple layer of security that you want, that's there. Would you want to stick with that application? No. For some security reasons, we might have a pin when the thing is getting delivered at home, or when I'm logging in at that time. If you are verifying if I am from a different computer or different network, I understand, but not every time. I want everything fast. I want everything seamless. So to get the seamless access, I need to have a right usability and security. Wherein if I have too less of security, we will see that like we've seen that these breaches keep happening, even though they have the best of security in team, best of resources. But still happens. A lot of credentials we can see online, the dumps are there, we can use it. Now, to avoid that, to make sure that we have usability and security at the same time, CIAM, consumer identity and access management, comes into picture. Now, when I talk about the consumer identity and access management, and I need to have consumer identity and access management, manage it, there are few questions that come into my mind that um, especially if I am an organization, these questions will come into my mind that are we building the consumer trust? Because if we don't build the trust, what will happen? User will not stick with us, or even wouldn't want to join us. And it's a word of mouth. My friend posts something online and says that this is the best e-commerce site. Trust me, even if you want to buy it or not, you will go there, you will register yourself. So we have huge number of user base, and we want to have a huge database of users. So another question comes is, how are we going to design an architecture or an application that gives the experience to the customers what they want? If they want to spend a lot of time on the app, we need to make sure it's fast, easily navigatable, and once the user onboards, the journey is smooth. Another question comes is that we need to design it by default. Security cannot be an afterthought in that. And what are the design precautions we should be taking when we are building an application and we are not part of any of the breaches? Because if an e-commerce site gets breached, it's not just the money that goes in, the trust, royalty, so much more is at stake. And it's not just with e-commerce, but any website. So to address these, there are some challenges also that play a role. That when a user logs in, oh, it takes so much of time to log in. So think about a railway system. If I am trying to book a ticket on the railway, and that's slow, that painful, logging itself takes a lot of time. Would you want to book the ticket? It has happened with me that I was trying to book ticket with one of the ticketing system, and it was taking ages. I said, no, it's better that I take a flight and go. So I don't want to stick with that particular application. Another comes is that how are we governing the applications? Are there any governance issue? Are there any privacy issues which are there? And to build the customer trust is again a big challenge that we'll have to address. And modern IAM solutions don't we cannot afford to have the loose connection between the applications and with the users at the same time. So we need to modernize our applications to have the latest and greatest technologies that we have. We cannot ask the user to have uh, 2 pages and fill the details, your phone number, your address and whatnot. No, we cannot do that. So user has so many credentials already. Like, think about, I am, if I talk about myself, I have so many credentials for official purpose, for my personal applications, or my social media sites, or my e-commerce applications that I buy things from. So how I'm going to handle Vault is one good thing, but when I am on getting onboarded to an application, if you're giving me a right experience, letting me use my own credentials, like bring your own credentials, bring your own login, how easy for me would it be? So right experience is again an important task, and building the trust over time is very, very important. If you've onboarded, if you've given the first experience really good, but then over the time there's no customer trust, we're using their data anywhere and everywhere, we have a big problem. And these problems should have a solution. So do we have a solution? We need to think, like, what kind of solution do we really need when we talk about consumer identity and access management? So the first thing that we start from is building the trust. So, and it's a phase journey. We cannot say that we can build the user trust in one day. So first, user joins, and before even joining, user actually starts scrolling through the application. That's what I do. If I want to join any of the e-commerce site or even any application, I want to understand what this application is all about. If my friend is saying that this is such a nice application, I just want to scroll through it and would see that how good it is for me, whether it's relevant for me, and then I go ahead and join. And I also look at that how much time it takes for me to join that. Once I've joined, I'm onboarded, I will actually I want to make sure that my data is not being used anywhere. So once I'm onboarded, I want to make sure that I am able to handle my data, who can actually access my data, where my data can be used. I can manage that. And once my login is there, I am able to easily access it. Like, I am able to log in from my laptop today, and when tomorrow I log in from the same laptop, it's asking me hundreds of things. I don't want that. Similarly, once I'm using that, I want to make sure that the same experience stays with me, even better experience comes to me. So once I have that whole journey, when I am scrubbing the application, when I'm trying to getting to know that how this e-commerce website is, and I've joined it, I am maintaining myself on that, and the experience that I'm getting is so smooth that I want to stick to it. I want to keep buying it from that particular application. So there are some applications for which my experience was really amazing or was incredible, and I always go ahead and buy from them. So it becomes even more important that when I do that, it happens with other users as well. It happens with organizations as well, that if they don't give the smooth experience and the journey of building the trust is not smooth, we tend to drift apart. Now, when I talked about this four phases, that it's actually level wise. Like level one, when the user says, okay, I want to get onboarded to the application and I want to understand what it has to offer me. So the whole registration plays a role. And what kind of registration options you're giving me, how much data you're asking me. That's the level one, which is making sure that yes, I have a trust on you, and you'll keep my data with you only, or you keep my data safe, and you're giving me options to move around the application. The level two is, I have joined now, uh, I can access it anytime and every time, and when I want it, you will make sure that my data is secure with you. You will make sure that my credentials, I can use it from any of the devices, be it any app, be it mobile. So it's a seamless access from any device. That's very, very important, or even any platform. You're giving me, like with level 3, you're allowing me to access as many applications you have with the same credentials, like a single sign-on. If you have 10 different applications like Amazon has, there are multiple applications they have, and this is the same credential that's being used. And I would say that I don't have to log into every application at the same time. Like I don't have to type in my credentials every time I go to these applications. I have logged in on one portal, and then others are automatically signed in for me. So that's like one thing which I really love. Now, another important aspect comes is, if something happens to any of the e-commerce site, how much my data, my credentials will be secure, whether my account would be secure or not. So are you giving me an opportunity to secure myself? Are you giving me an option to secure my account using two-step verification, multi-factor authentication, or anything else that can be there that can safeguard my account? There are so many mechanisms, like passwordless authentication using QR code, or time-based OTP. So there are multiple things that I might want. Now, level 4 comes is wherein you're giving me an assurity that you're managing my account you're managing my preferences, you're making sure my liking, disliking, or the kind of stuff I do, you know it, you know me very well. Because for e-commerce sites, it's very, very important to know their users, and similarly, users want this. And that's how e-commerce sites maintain the identities, that this is what user like, this is what user do. So if let's say I'm logged in right now from Bangalore, and suddenly after 5 minutes I'm logging in from Delhi, does it sound suspicious? Absolutely. It takes 3 hours to reach from Bangalore to Delhi, and that too from if I'm talking about airport to airport. Now there's another time that it's there. Similarly, if you are talking about UK, from Heathrow Airport to let's say my friend's house, it takes an hour and a half. So if I'm logging in from Heathrow Airport right now, and suddenly I goes in 5 minutes and log in from a distant location. Is it possible? No, ideally it's not possible. Theoretically, I can think about it, but practically it's not possible. So you're making sure if suddenly my device changes, my location changes, or the kind of connections that I'm maintaining changes, you are mapping it. You're making sure that you're maintaining my preferences. Now, when this whole journey that you're maintaining, okay, I have a level of trust, but then these are the things which I want an organization to address, and similarly organization wants to address. So what are the challenges which an organization face? Organization wants to make sure that the users are sticking with them. They have they're buying from their websites, they're sticking with them, and then there's no data breach that's happening. And similarly, seamless experience for them. For a user wants to make sure that they have a seamless experience at an organization. And the very first thing when they're registering for an application, as I mentioned, the easy registration process. For security, you're giving multi-factor authentication or two-step verification or anything that can safeguard me. So let's go step by step and deep dive into it. That why do we need it, and how do they can help us? Okay, so here, so two-step verification or multi-factor authentication, or even before we go to that, we need to register for an application. So there was one point I highlighted, that I have so many identities. Can I bring my identities, have my own set of credentials when I am logging into an application? So there's something called social login. So can I use my social credentials, which are there with Gmail, with Facebook, or with anything? Can I use that? Now when I am using that, I am using my own credentials, and I don't need to create one more set of credentials. So it's helpful for me that I don't have to remember tons of credentials here. And you're not asking me to provide my phone number, my address. As and when you need it, you can ask me and I will provide you. So those are the things with the easy registration. Then comes multi-factor authentication. Now, what do we do with multi-factor authentication? So it's also called sometimes two-step verification, or we call it as layered security, or second factor authentication. There are many ways people call it as. So multi-factor authentication can be in the form of an SMS, which you receive it on phone. It can be in the form of email, like email service, or you can have it like a voice OTP, that there's a call that has come to you and the OTP is told to you, or you use your authenticator apps which are there on your phone. So I am using an authenticator app which gives me time-based OTP, which gives me a touch-based push notification. Let's say as soon as I log into any application from a different device, it sends an approval notification on my phone that you allow this user to log in, or are you trying to log in from this particular device? So I have to use my thumbprint, my facial recognition to be there and to approve that. So which means you're allowing me to do this. And as a e-commerce application, I'm so happy. So as a user of e-commerce application, I'm so happy that I have multiple layer of security, and you are securing in your own way, but I am able to secure my own accounts. Now, another important aspect is consent management, which people have started talking about once these regulations came into picture, like GDPR or CCPA, which is California Act, or Brazilian Act. All these privacy acts, when it started coming into picture, and people started knowing, oh, that you should ask me if you're accessing my credit score. You should ask me if you want to record my email address, my phone number, or even my address, because all the e-commerce site know all these details, or want to save all these details for the future use of the users. So now consent management, again, it becomes so important that if I say delete my data, you delete my data, you take my consent. So consent management system is like one very important aspect for consumer identity and access management, and identity and management becomes important with it. And alongside goes privacy, that you are keeping my data safe, and how much you know about that these are the privacy things that needs to go by default, and how are the things are being embedded in the application itself. If, let's say, um, uh, there are some uh, things that you're doing with e-commerce application. So an organization has a certain process of uh, buying something or allowing the user to buy something, but for that user has to give hundreds of details, and those details are being shown in clear text. Are you keeping my privacy? No. How are you saving my data? Where you are saving my data? That's when comes the data storage. That the data has to be encrypted properly. My data is private to me. Nobody else can see my data, not even my best friend, even though they try and get to it, but I have my two-step verification, everything. There are people who do the shoulder surfing and they get the credentials. My kid does it every time, like whenever I am working on my phone, that comes and start peeping in and try and get my credentials. And similar thing can happen with any of the e-commerce application. So let's say if I get Sandeep's e-commerce application credentials, what do I want to do? I will check whether there is some credits which I can use, or what all things he's purchasing. Or I might want to buy, just place an order. If I have a negative mindset, I'm just going to go ahead and place an order for 1,000 different things. So if another important thing is, if there's a credit card stored, I might want to exploit that. So I need to make sure that my users' identities are secure. Another important aspect is context aware access, which is one very, very important aspect that we need to address. And it becomes really, really important to address it, because it talks about behavior biometrics. It talks about the continuous authentication. It talks about anomalous behavior. If somebody has got my credentials and they're trying to log in from an unknown location, or a location which is very far off, and I've never been there, I've never logged in from there, and suddenly the user tries to log in, so it becomes fishy. Or if there is someone who's trying to use bots, someone is trying to use malicious patterns, malicious browser, there is an infected browser, so I get to know. Or even if a user has a rooted phone or a jailbroken device, and user is trying to log into the application, so we stop then and there. Now here we are talking about usability, user security, but then organization or e-commerce application has to be secure at the same time. So context aware access fits really best, which complements with an organization, and organization security, user experience, and security. So what is the need of the hour? We need a secure, reliable system, which is easy for the developers to implement, which is very flexible. We can have more and more users. Users can bring their own login, bring your own, we can enable them for bring your own identities. We can detect frauds using adaptive access or context aware access. Now people have started talking about zero trust. Now zero trust is saying that never trust, always verify. So we are not trusting the users, always verifying, but at the same time, we're building the context over time so that user user is not facing any issues with the usability. So we are detecting all the frauds which can be there, and we are allowing the users to have multi-factor authentication. We are understanding that what a risk can be there for an application. So all this can be done very easily when we are maintaining the right identities of the user, a right context about them. We are giving them a right process. There is one book which I really love, which is around consumer identity and access management. That's Dummies for CIAM by Martin Lodres and Jack A. Hyman. You should really read that. It's an amazing book. If you're not able to find it, do reach out to me. I have a copy of it, or I'll share the link where I've got it from, or you can reach out to them as well. And for any of the feedback, any questions about this topic, or anything that you have for me, do feel free to reach out to me on my Twitter handle and LinkedIn. I'm very much reachable and I'm very much responsive on it. So do feel free to reach me. Thank you.
Thank you, Vandana. That was a great session. And actually, you brought in another perspective to the usability. Like most of the times we talk about having a user experience, but no one talks about like having a good experience on the website from the kind of authentication or IAM point of view, and which is kind of very important when the user keeps coming back to your site, or they are they are kind of able to browse very easily on the websites. That's another good perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah, and yeah. Getting a feedback instead of question. That excellent presentation. That's very good. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions, guys? We've got a few minutes left for the question and answers, and then we'll move on to the next one. So, Vandana, you were saying something.
I was saying that till the time they'll type their questions, because sometimes it takes time, or sometimes people are reluctant to ask questions in the first go. So we'll let them ask questions. I just have one thing to say. I've been working on app security for quite some time now, but then I realized the most important aspect of it, that we have to address the identity and access management challenges with the applications. If we only talk about like the vulnerabilities which could be there, like a top 10, then we still would be missing out on a lot of things. So we'll have to address the consumer identity and access management, especially with e-commerce, fintech applications.
Yeah. I think instead of questions, we are getting the feedback. That's excellent presentation there. Another one that's come from one of the participants. So that's really cool. Yeah, but on a personal level, like because we come from the technical background, and we understand. But when you do a commerce website, like I was saying previously, you mostly think about user experience, marketing point of view, how to kind of personalize things on the website to get them on your website, and being and keep them there. But then another thing is like how do you enable that access, a quicker access for them, so that they keep coming back with that. You mentioned a point about the feedback that people share, and then you definitely want to go back and definitely want to kind of be on the site. So that's a good point of view to kind of look at when we are developing commerce websites as well. Yeah, another thing, like another one saying excellent presentation. That's the feedback that we're getting. I think no questions as such. So, but thank you very much, Vandana. It was a great presentation, and like we have seen from the participants as well, people are saying this is good. So thank you very much.
Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel so that you get notified about our latest videos. If you want to know more about our services, please head to our website at assurex.co. Thank you very much once again. Take care and stay safe.